You are listening to Adulting with Ebonie. Season 7 brings together neurodiversity, human design and embodiment so that Gen X or millennial misfits and late diagnosed neurospices become empowered, embodied and fully expressed. This is the show where I actively encourage you to feel your feelings rather than think them. Glow up, not grow up, and become full of yourself. Because who the fuck else should you be full of? Each week, I have real and raw conversations about what it takes to be fully resourced and have happy, healthy, intimate relationships as a dopamine-deficient adult wanting to create a better future by being the change that you want to see in the world. I am your host, Ebonie Alchemy, aka Ebonie Alchemy, a late diagnosed ADHD, combined type and Asperger's in case you like specifics, artist, mystic, and self-actualization facilitator. I'm an international award-winning multiple brain integration technique master coach with special interest in embodied human design for neurodivergence. I've been in the personal development, creativity, and entrepreneurship spaces all of my life. And as a 5'2" emotional manifesting generator with a left angle cross of distraction, I am here to help you know what to trust and what to tune out. Each week, I share relatable, practical ways that mean you get to take less responsibility for more reward and safely remove your camouflage for more belonging, acceptance, and fulfillment. Ready? Let's go. Number 9. So very often you might hear me talking about alchemy, or I might say, let's alchemize that shit. And when I'm saying alchemize that shit, what I really mean is let's turn whatever it is that's going on for you into gold. Let's turn it into fertilizer, actually, right? Like if it is shit, if it's not serving you, we get to give it to Gaia. We get to let go of it so that it can be fertilizer for new growth, for something new. And the shittier, the more active that fertilization and the more something really potent and powerful can grow. And talk about what alchemy is later. But you get to alchemize your shit and use it as fertilizer to grow into something else. Number 10, I am not anyone's guru, not your guru. And what I mean by that is that as a 5 line particularly, but as a 5'2", and as somebody who is has got a motorized throat, who is self assured, who has an opinion on things. I mean, there are some things I have no opinion on, open head, open heart now. But as somebody who people like to project on as well, like, I have a divine will center, I am strong in my sovereign, which means that people can very easily turn to me or look to me for support or permission or pedestal me or idolize me. And a lot of my work has really been about seeing that and acknowledging it, but not giving it any weight. Not noticing whether people love me, not noticing whether people hate me, not allowing myself to be projected on or take on the projections of others, but to really stick to and connect to being my own guru and being my own authority and knowing my own parameters of what I am here to support and help people with, like what is in my remit and what isn't. And I highly recommend you doing the same, whether or not you're a 5'2", whether or not you have a defined will center, like none of that stuff matters. Being the authority on you, knowing your own remit, not getting involved in other people's drama is a really, really important life lesson. And that takes us to number 11, don't outsource your pain. Now, I have been absolutely guilty of this one, which is rather than feeling my feelings, rather than just being in the pain and the discomfort or the trauma of being a human being and going through some of the experiences that life has for us, it is a lot easier to outsource the pain. And what I mean when I say that is find a therapist, find some shadow work, find a plant medicine, find something that you can outsource your pain to, that you can, rather than feeling it, rather than processing it, rather than feeling it to heal it, really, you are trying to outsource that part. And there is no outsourcing of your pain. You cannot pay anyone enough money to feel your feelings for you. You have to, if you would like to grow, to alchemize, to move, to shift, feel your feelings rather than think them, and sit with your own pain. And in pain, there is always something for us. There is always a gift. There's always some insight or wisdom. And you get to claim that rather than attempting to give your power away and give it to somebody else. Which leads me to number 12, which is that nobody is coming to save you. And I love to tell the story of the man who thought that God was going to come and save him. And this is a story about a town flooding and a man climbing up his house and sitting on his roof, and the water rising and rising and rising, and everybody else leaving the town, and his neighbors arriving and being in their boat and saying, hey, we're going, there's a space for you, would you like to come? And the guy saying, no, it's okay, God's going to save me. And then the next boat and the next boat, no, it's okay, God's going to save me. And then the water rising and rising, and him looking up and seeing a plane or a helicopter or a rope out of the sky, and somebody offering him an opportunity to escape, and him saying, no, it's okay, God's going to save me. And then him drowning, ending up in heaven, and the man being very angry with God and saying, why am I here? You said you would save me. And God saying, well, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter, I sent you I sent you this, I sent you that, I gave you lots of opportunities, and you chose not to take them. And yeah, nobody's going to save you, right? You get to recognize the opportunity. You get to save yourself with support, but you have to recognize the opportunity. There is no being saved without you agreeing to it and saying yes and choosing to make the leap into the boat, climb the rope ladder up into the helicopter or whatever, okay? And number 13, it gets to be easy. What I mean by that is you get to take the path of least resistance. Now, we grew up in a society where very often we were told to work on the thing that we're the weakest at. Make sure we're only, you're only as strong as your weakest link, or you've got to work on your Achilles heel. And I actually think that that's wrong. It's fine when we want every single person to work completely independently and autonomously, and we were designed to live and work in synergy with one another. And that means that we get to be good at the things that we're good at. We get to enjoy the stuff that we enjoy, and we get to work with one another and be interdependent in a really beautiful way rather than codependent. And codependence comes when we are not recognizing our own value and not offering our gifts to the world in some ways, right? There's a lot more to it, nuance, etc. Okay. But it gets to be easy means not that there's no effort involved, but that you get to follow what is easeful for you. You get to take the path, or get to choose the path of least resistance. 14 is intention and attention. So particularly those of us who are squirrel-brained, it is, and this isn't this is something that is not going away. The more and more and more attention, like things that grab our attention, the more and more information, the more and more the world speeds up. It's part of evolution that there is going to be a lot of things taking or vying for our attention all of the time. One of the biggest gifts or biggest skills that you need to survive as a healthy, happy adult is the ability to focus your attention in a place of, focus your attention in a place of your choosing and desire. And that is why we meditate. That is why we work on our mindset. Mindset alone isn't necessarily going to help you. There's body stuff that needs to happen with that. There are all sorts of nervous system things that might be going on that mean that mindset work on its own isn't going to work. However, being and working on the skill of being the bouncer of your own mind and choosing which thoughts you have or don't have and let in and give space and time to is a really important adulting skill, as is being able to align your intention and your attention. Now, when you have an intention, whether it is to make a certain amount of money in your business, whether it is to have a certain amount of time off, whether it is to, I don't know, lose some weight, run a marathon, be in a relationship, whatever it is that your intention is, if your attention is not aligned with that, then your behavior is not going to be aligned with that. And so, days will pass, months will pass. You will continue to not have the thing that you intended because your attention was elsewhere. And so one of the most important things that you can work on, rather than what do I do, how, right? Which I see people do a lot, is the how is focus your attention and make it in line with your intention. Everything else will follow from that. 15, logic isn't logical, magic is. Logic is one of the ways that your saboteur shows up. It is very, very good at being rational and logical. The thing is, life is not logical. It's not linear. Time's not linear. Nothing makes sense. Nothing about being alive makes sense at all. The very fact that you are alive is completely illogical. It is magic. You are a miracle. There was a ridiculous chance in trillions for you to be here on this planet at this time, to have made it and to still be alive. It's fucking incredible, right? You are a miracle. You are not logical. You're not a logical being, and you are made of minerals. You are a creature of this incredible planet, and magic is the most logical thing. And we get to focus on the magic. We get to focus on all the things that have worked, all the miracles that have happened, all the times that things have worked out, rather than focusing on, well, that's just not logical. When we do what our sacral often or our spleen knows in the moment, or what our body wisdom is guiding us towards, then we will get the life that we desire. We'll get an incredible experience, we'll get a rich experience. Logic is our head brain, and it is making meaning and perceiving, rationalizing and attempting to survive all of the time. Logic is not logical. Magic is. 16, breath is free medicine. Now, I'm really, really glad that breathwork has gotten the popularity that it has in recent years. And it's not all about bow breath or connected whatever. Doesn't need a fancy name, doesn't need to be lying on a mat, doesn't need to be a big therapeutic experience, doesn't need to be a huge release. And all of those things are awesome in the right time and place. However, just noticing your breath is medicine. There will be healing for you in bringing new oxygen into your body and allowing stagnant oxygen and everything else within your system to leave. Breath is free medicine. You can always breathe. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you have money or not, whether you are being looked at or not, whether you are alone or not, whether you're on an airplane or in a lift, you can breathe. So breathing is a really, really important, powerful, free, easy, go-to source of everyday alchemy. Talking of which, number 17 is 101 ways to alchemize your body and using your body and your body as a gift from Gaia. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, I have a program training called 101 Ways to Alchemize, and send me a message somewhere if you want me to send you the link to that. 101 Ways to Alchemize literally gives you 101 ways, I think there's a few more in there, ways that you can state shift in any given moment. Now, in our
energy body wisdom, which links to numerology, which links together the frequencies of the universe, the universal laws, like all of the things together. They're kind of the language of the unseen and of Kismet and of this whole experience of being a spiritual being, having a human experience. We have energy bodies, and the fifth energy body is the physical body. And our physical body is how we alchemize by state shifting, and we get to state shift by changing our environment, changing our temperature, changing our beliefs and our thoughts, moving generally, right? Like all of the stuff that we get to do is in the body, and that body is made up a lot of systems, right? We've got the central nervous system and all of these different parts and nerves and autonomic and thought about and controlled parts of being a human being. And it is such a gift of being a human being on planet Earth that we have a body, and there are 101 ways minimum to alchemize. A bit like there's like 101 different ways to use gaffer tape, there are 101 different ways to use your body to state shift, to change your reality like that. Number 18, victim or creator mode. Okay, so the way that we are designed as humans is that when we are in pain or when there is a problem, we want to fix it. And we're looking to fix the problem or the solution, find the solution as quickly as possible because we don't want to be in pain, whether that is physical, mental, emotional anguish and pain, in whatever sort of way. The way that we are designed is that we will look for the solution to the problem. Now, the awesome thing about being human is that if we don't know something, we are autonomically and kind of universally designed to learn. And so if we don't know how to do something, we will learn how to do it. And that's really, really cool because it means that we are incredible learners and creators. We can learn and create almost anything if we wanted to. If we set our time, I mean, we built Stonehenge, we built the pyramids, we're fucking incredible creators, right? But when we're focused on a problem to fix, as soon as that problem is fixed, we stop. Or as soon as the pain is there no more, we stop. And what we create from victim mode, from ouch mode, is something very short term and not very innovative or fun or exciting or great. And as soon as we are then satiated and we're no longer in pain, we get comfortable and we just stay there, which means that nothing cool or new is happening. And very often the way that we reach kind of satiation or not pain isn't actually pleasure. It isn't actually incredible. It worked and it didn't kill us and it took us out of pain. Now, when we move into creator mode, like what do I actually want to create rather than what's the problem I'm trying to solve here, then we can be in innovation. Then we can create something new. Then pyramids get built, right? Stonehenge happens. And so I want you to check in from time to time. Are you living your life from victim mode or from creator mode? Are you living your life in the urgent and important quadrant of your life all the time, right? Are you firefighting all the time? Or are you actually focusing on that which you desire to leave as your legacy? 19, you get to rewrite the story. You are the author and the narrative maker, the director of your life. You get to choose which edit, you get to rewrite the story, you get to look at the experiences you've had up until this point, and you get to tell the story as if you were the hero or heroine rather than the victim, perpetrator, or anything else, right? Like it is your story, and there are 1,000 different perspectives and different ways of telling that story. And one of the most empowering things that you could possibly do for yourself is to look at where you are in your life, rewrite the story so that it's more empowering for you now, and decide, is this the end of a chapter or is it just the beginning? Is this the bit where the main person has a whole plot twist? Is your book short? Is it long? Is it exciting? Is it boring? How, you get to be the author. Number 20, I have a training called the True Self training, and it really is an exercise in parts integration, because you are made up of multiple parts, and there are many, many different parts of you. And one of the reasons that I love working with archetypes so much is because they are characters and relatable kind of, yeah, figures, symbols, archetypes that have been around for millennia and that we can all relate to in some way. And in the True Self training, you get to look at your different parts. You get to look at your inner rebel. You get to look at your inner child, and you get to recognize which part is your true self. And this is really important, the kind of coming back to who you are and what these different parts are saying to you, and not trying to suppress or get rid of any of our different parts, but integrate them and allow yourself to recognize when you're operating from love or when you're operating from fear, when you're trying to keep yourself safe or when you are ready to grow and expand. The best way to do that is to get really aware of all your different parts. And it's only when you recognize your true self that you can become full of yourself, because you can't be full of yourself if you don't know who you are. 21, affirm your true nature. This is at the premise of all of my work. I don't want to change who you are. I want you to get to know who you are, and I want for you to fall in love with that. I want for you to feel validated in that. I want for you to feel affirmed in your true nature. And then I want to give you the ability and the choice to shift and change and to alchemize for polarity or for harmony, to create sparky attraction or repel, or to create harmony. And that is something that is really, really important, is for you to understand your true nature and affirm it for yourself. Other people can help affirm you, and that's a beautiful thing. And the most powerful thing that you can do is affirm your own true nature. 22 is, I want to talk a little bit about healer and warrior and integrating our own yin and yang, masculine and feminine, sun, moon, whatever we want to call these different parts of us. And this isn't a divine feminine, divine masculine thing. It is really about understanding that these different elements within us, these different aspects of us, are always looking to work together in harmony with one another and for each other. And the divine feminine and the healer part is not a trophy, is not a deer to be hung on a wall. It's very much, your divine feminine is very much, whether you are a man or a woman, it's very much about being in connection with your body. And the divine feminine is not just sweetness and light and surrender. She's animal. Your body is a healer, and to be in your feminine is to be in your body. Because the body knows how to birth, the body knows how to create new life, the body knows everything. And our feminine, regardless of whether we are a man or a woman, is in our body. Books of knowledge exist because men and the masculine, and I talk very broadly and widely, need to write down information in order to remember it and to come back to it and to sort it into hierarchy and to understand it and put order to it, which is awesome and very helpful. Cataloging and hierarchy is a great thing, and it's part of our inner masculine, part of our warrior and order and strategy, right? These are all wonderful, wonderful things. And feminine wisdom is oracular, it's spoken, it's felt, and it's known and remembered in the waters of the body, the stone of the body, right? Stones hold memory, water holds memory. We are made of minerals, we are made of water. Everything you've ever known and your ancestors have known before you is in your body. And the more disconnected from your body you are, the less you know. The more connected to your body you are, the more you know. 23 is your compass. and your value filter. Now, you need to have an internal GPS. And one of the reasons why the value filter is a prerequisite for working with me is because it is your internal compass, and you can be as lost as Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know where you're going, then you will go, depending on, you'll go wherever you end up, right? If you want to go somewhere in particular, then you need to know where you're going. In order to know where you're going, you need a compass. And that is why it's so important for you to do the value filter, or to have the value filter, is for you to have your own internal compass, because when you've got your own internal compass, then you can be your own authority. And rather than just going somewhere, you can go somewhere at will.